Hi everyone. Today, welcome to all for the first podcast with Keshav Biyani. He is a SD2 at Microsoft, and previously he worked as a Cisco SD3. So, welcome Keshav Bhaiya for this podcast. So,
Thank you, Ravi. Glad to be here. Let's hope I am as helpful as you think I can be, and let's see how this goes. Thank
okay.
you.
So today we talk about ki how the student will get the job into the FANG and big MNCs. This podcast is really helpful if you are a student and working professional up to 3 years of experience. So take the notes in the podcast so that you will get maximum outcome from this podcast. You will learn what works and what does not work in interview and career. Here you will learn how to connect college reality with industry reality, and here we covers mistakes, decision and growth, not just success stories. So so let's begin the podcast. So, Kesavya, the first question is ki, what was the mindset during the college, so that ki, if the person he is in the first year of college, so how they will start their journey for getting into the big MNC and getting a good internship and good placement in their college.
Okay, so if your question essentially is, was I clear about the journey in tech or in software engineering, and what was my mindset? To be very honest, I was never clear about tech, right? Like this software engineering for me was an acquired taste after I joined Cisco. I never looked at it as a very long term thing. So there are a couple of reasons. First of all, I was from an electronics background, right? And in the initial first year, right, I come from a joint family, right? So I was the youngest in the house. So my first hostel experience was actually the first time I ever got away from house. I was heavily pampered because I was youngest, and now suddenly I was sharing a hostel room with six people, common washrooms, very long class walks to classes, getting lost on campus and getting scolded for getting late to the class. So just adjusting to that life in itself took me around a couple of months, right? Another thing is during the first year, see, every single one of us has more often than not, has not more often than not. I think unless you are an international student, every single one of us has joined the engineering college with some competitive exam only, right? Whether that's IIT or whatever, BITS, Pilani, or whichever good college you've joined, it has come out of a competitive examination, right? Now the thing is, because every single one of us has come from the competitive examination mindset, I carried the same momentum in my first semester. uh, let's go compete, get the first rank and all that. And the issue is, somehow or the other, our education system even incentivizes this. I'll give an example of this probably later as we discuss if the question comes up. So that's how I did my first semester: go to the classes, study, get the exam. And I remember getting a 9.5 GPA in my first semester. So with that regard, it was very well. But as I said, I was in the room with six people, right? And every single one came with a very different outlook in itself. So two of us were of the same mindset कि भाई जो plus two में करा है, let's try to continue with that only. But there was this one guy in my room who looked at this whole opportunity of staying in hostel and engineering in itself very differently. He actually spent time talking to seniors, collecting information. He got into project in like the first semester itself, and constantly asking why things worked and the way they did. He focused on why engineering, but most of us, we actually focus on how portion of the engineering. Very few of us actually ask the questions, why are we even doing engineering? And that's what I realized, and that's what hit me in my second semester, that I am doing the exact same thing I've been doing in the plus one and plus two. So how exactly am I going to be different? And so I spoke with that guy. By the way, that friend of mine is doing very well. He has his own startup. He even came to Shark Tank. You can go and Google it on YouTube. Aliste Technologies. They're all my batchmates. They're doing really well. So it just further reinforced that I think it's really important to focus on why engineering. I think one of the most problematic things that we have in our education system is we don't network and we don't connect with others because we try to be isolated and then we try to just compete. So that's one thing which was a very big shift in my understanding.
Okay, so what are the main issue you found in the first year or second year of college student, like they need to do in their first year and second year so that they will get a better opportunity or better connections with the others?
Yeah, that's actually very important. You really need to network. People don't understand how important networking is. Maybe if we get it down the line, I'll mention more on this. See, every single one of us, as I said, we are carrying the same momentum from the competitive exams. So we over optimize our entire life with marks and everything, right? And again, the education system incentivizes it. Like, for example, I come from VIT, okay? So VIT had this rule that if you get a good grade point average, GPA, then you can choose your room and roommates for the next year before others, right? So you get the good rooms, you get the AC rooms or non-AC, whatever you want in whichever block you want, whichever hostel block you want. So in a way, even the education system incentivizes this entire competitive mindset. But we need to learn to collaborate with one another. See, because again, this also comes a lot from the kind of content we consume on the internet, the movies, the shows, and everything. It just shows that there's just one out of the blue anomaly in the world who comes, he builds everything from scratch, and then he becomes successful. That's really not how it works. Uh, One of the most important things is networking and outsourcing certain sections and delegation. You need to be able to have some expert do one portion of the work for you and collaborate with them. If you don't get this mindset early, later on in the life, it's actually very difficult to grow because after a point of time, your resumes will actually get shortlisted based on your network, which is an unfortunate reality. So yeah, networking. If that's one, if your question, so to summarize the answer, uh, what should you do in the first year and second year? Network. Go talk to people. Just ask them what they are doing, and trust me, don't be shy. People will answer. People will collaborate, and they'll actually speak with you.
Okay, but Bhaiya, there is some students who are coming from a tier 3 and tier 4 colleges where the seniors are getting not getting the job or getting a small company job. So how these peoples are connecting with the that type of peoples who are growing in a very good manner. So for what is your suggestion for that students who are in the tier 2 or 3 tier 4 colleges and they have no network in the college?
Actually, that's a good question. And to be very honest, I am lucky that I had a good college with a decent network. Many people are not that lucky because of whatever reason they are unable to get the right environment and whatever it is. So I totally understand that. So if I have to answer how they should progress, they really need to cold email, cold message people, go on LinkedIn, talk to them, what they are doing. And yeah, there will be people who probably will just get back and snap back saying that I don't have the time to respond to your questions, right? And I totally understand. Many people are actually busy. So if you're coming from a tier 3, tier 4 college that doesn't necessarily have a very good placement wing, placement and analysis training wing and everything, uh, yes, maybe networking within college is not going to be very helpful. It will be helpful, but maybe not that helpful at the moment. So for them, I really suggest go out. मतलब हमारे भाषा में बोलूँ तो एकदम बेशर्मों की तरह मेल करो, मैसेज करो, and see what they are responding. And see, to be very honest, uh, if someone gives me a cold message or a cold email, I really want to be, I want to see how exactly are they pushing. Like, for example, more often than not, if someone sends me a message on LinkedIn, uh, and say it's not for a referral, say it's for like just a question. Like, I remember 2 3 people came to me and they just asked me a question, ki this is what I want to do. And if it is something I have knowledge on, then I'll probably give them an answer. And and sometimes I'm just not in the right frame of mind. At the end of the day, I am human. I have my things to deal with. So I might not really respond to them on time or immediately. So, but if they send me a second message, despite me not responding to them, then I'll definitely give them up because it shows seriousness. It shows that this person actually wants to do it and he's keeping his or her ego aside and is coming back and asking the question. That actually really connects with a lot of people. So go out, message. See, because at the end of the day, that's all you can do, unfortunately. If your college is not as helpful, then you've got to go out and the world is an oyster. Luckily, we are living in the age of incredible LinkedIn, Twitter, and all these X, I mean, and we have all these nice platforms where you can communicate with people. Utilize them. And yes, it won't be success immediately because this is a marathon. It's not like a T20 match, it's like a test cricket match. It's a long marathon. But that's all I know, where you can probably go. Just go message them, mail them, and it works. It has worked for a lot of people.
Bhaiya, just want to know कि how to approach like many people who are coming from a tier 4 or tier 3 colleges where the seniors are not there for guiding. So
Mhm.
how they will approach the right people? Like LinkedIn have a lot of people and many of are busy with their own work. So how to approach the people on the LinkedIn or Twitter so that they will get a better result from their side.
So, so there are two things I can probably think of right now. The first thing is probably you know what you want. You have the job ID, you have the resume for it, you're just looking for an opportunity. The second type of people are those who are not fully aware of what they want, right? So, so think about it like this. If you think your seniors are not extremely aware or helpful right now in college, then you should realize it earlier. See, do this thing earlier. Like second year से ही start करो approach करना. अगर senior से बातचीत नहीं हो रही, then go out on LinkedIn, talk to people, and try to get instances. Go to a particular company which is probably a dream company. Like for me, I come from an electronics background. For me, at that point of time, my dream company was Intel.
Okay.
Okay, so I remember reaching out and see, I come from electronics B.Tech. So until my super seniors so I graduated in 2020. So until 2018, Intel, Qualcomm, uh, uh, NXP Semiconductors, these were the big companies. They used to come and hire for bachelors in electronics. But after that, they stopped because electronics is a very theory heavy field compared to software engineering. So they actually expect from. Uh, you getting a call?
No, no, not getting.
Yeah, yeah. So this is a theory heavy field. So they expect someone with masters or someone who has done really well, or they might not have gotten very good results from the bachelors from our college. Essentially, I don't know. They just stopped coming, and they just told we won't come, right? So I remember reaching out to a super senior of mine whose contact I got from someone else, or she was not extremely helpful because she was actually switching to Qualcomm, so she didn't really have the time. So I reached out to around 4 or 5 people on LinkedIn on Intel. I told them, look, this is my current situation. The company is not coming for hiring me for my core electronics Intel VLSI job. What should I do? So out of 4 or 5 people, I think only one person really responded back, and that was enough information for me. I prepared for Gate for some time, but then ultimately I gave up on it. It was not working in my favor, and I got a job, and then I just continued along the software line. So what I'm trying to get to is you need to identify the resource or the lack of resource early and then go out and just reach out. You need to go specific. Like, you just can't randomly go to someone and be like, how to do this. You should have a reason why you selected that person. So, I wanted to go to Intel. I went through the LinkedIn people list of Intel and I just reached out to people who I felt I can communicate with better than others. And then I just told them कि भाई ऐसा है सीन क्या करूँ. and they responded a bit. Someone just straight away ignored me. One person, he had a bit more back and forth. We spoke on the call. He suggested me to go for GATE or MSc, a GATE or GRE, and go for a master's. But then I didn't really go for it. So that's one way I know probably can work. I'm sure there are other ways. It's just that I might not be aware of them right now.
Yeah, this is the best approach. I am also using this approach for my journey. So the next question is कि how important were fundamentals like OS, DBMS, CA, and OOPS in your journey?
This is a very interesting question. I can guarantee you about one thing, that for the first 3 years of your job, unless you're working in like a very, very niche company, you'll not look at them. You'll not look at these concepts. However, okay, networking is something you'll definitely look at. So I come from Cisco. So computer networks were like भाई वहाँ का भगवत गीता कंप्यूटर नेटवर्क से है भाई, और कुछ नहीं कर सकते आप वहाँ पे. एंड सो कंप्यूटर नेटवर्क इज समथिंग विच इज़ वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. oops तो don't even ask. Like you will realize the beauty of oops when you see some of the legacy code that I went through. So you asked four things: OS, DBMS, networking, and oops.
OOPS.
Oops, as a software engineer, you'll use every day. That I can guarantee. So it can be via polymorphism, it can be via interface implementations, it can be via. Uh, okay, I have personally never seen inheritance extensions a lot. I have actually seen interface implementations a lot more.
Okay.
I don't know why. I'm not really sure why that's the trend. I think it's probably because of the kind of design patterns that are there, the LLD design patterns, right? So most of the design patterns, oh yeah, solid principle. So according to solid principle, uh, there is this principle, right? What was it? Liskov substitution principle. So according to it, if one of the classes you change it with another implementation, it should not throw an error. That's quite literally what the L stands for in Solid.
Okay.
So because of this, they have gone a lot more on interface implementations than inheritance. But you will see oops a lot. The bottom line is oops are very important. Very important. I cannot stress this enough. In fact, you will start thinking your code also in oops only after a point of time.
Okay.
Computer networking, it really depends again on you. I want to spend some time on this question because it's really important actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Computer networking is very important, but it really depends ki, where exactly are you working, right?
Okay.
Maybe you're a simple backend engineer whose work is quite literally got nothing to do with the networks right now. You just have to go write your APIs, and the networking is taken care by someone else, right?
Yeah.
The network policies and everything are taken care of by someone else. If that, then you may not see computer networking a lot. But I was from the infra team. I was always on the cloud and infra side. Plus, I was in Cisco, so networking I've seen a lot. About OS and DBMS, I have never seen OS till date. But
Okay.
it's really important that the more you go deeper into some of the implementations, uh, OS and DBMS will start coming in a lot. So right, like there are like 7 layers of OSI.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
at the bottom you have data link layer and all that. At the top you have the application layer. You will start seeing OS and DBMS when you work on data link layers a lot more.
Yeah.
Uh, or you might be working on writing a DB. Like for example, in Amazon, if you're working for DynamoDB, then you will see OS and DBMS a lot. So it really depends on what your product is. If your product is a DB, then you'll work on OS and DBMS a lot, obviously. But if your product is at the end of the day a software as a service SaaS or a platform as a service PaaS, you might not see them a lot. You'll scale on them. You'll learn about scalability, but not really on implementation. So it's really product dependent. But you will really start understanding the more deeper you go into the lower levels of the OSI architecture.
Okay. Bhaiya, like our those who are in the college right now, so how much getting deep into these concepts, like not just cracking the interview, going into deep so that they will understand the fundamentals. Like I found a lot of engineers who learn these things and crack the interview and cracking the college examination, but as a engineer, how these things will help.
Yeah, actually, uh, one of the topics you should definitely add to OS, DBMS, computer networking, and OOPS is actually computer organization and architecture. That again comes even further below. Like if you go even below, if you go to the physical layer, then COA comes into the account. To be very honest, if you're doing a bachelor's degree right now, if you're in B.Tech and you're simply going to the application level jobs, which is actually more than 90% of. So, no one will come to uh, an entry level engineer. At least I have never heard that someone will come to an entry level engineer and will put them in a role that is into systems engineering. So this things they come under systems engineering, and working on SaaS or PaaS, you can call them as application engineering, building apps, and building systems, right?
Okay.
So I think right now study the theory, I would say, and just take the depth according to what product you're working on right now.
Okay.
Uh, it's like the there's this concept of lean startup management by Eric Rice, right? He
Yeah.
says solve the problem what customer wants and let everything be the thing. So if you don't need the depth in OS and DBMS right now, don't go very deep.
Okay.
Let that be taken right now. Just focus on whatever is required right now.
Okay.
If right now you're working on writing just the backend code, then just focus on OOPS. Don't even care about computer networking if it is not part of your product. So listen to what the management is saying and just solve for it. Yes, it's very important to have an idea of writing queries. Like obviously you need to know how to write queries in databases, but don't go way too deep into OS or something like that. OOPS obviously are important.
Okay.
So to summarize, just do what is needed right now. Don't unnecessarily solve problems that have not come up yet. Otherwise, it's going to waste a lot of time, I would say.
Okay. But yeah, a lot of students are struggling to what to start, like front end or back end. And in front end there is two stream like React and Angular. And for
Mm-hmm.
back end there are multiple things like Node.js, Java, and Python. So people
Mm.
are very confused ki what to start, and someone will start and in between found that ki on LinkedIn ki someone get Google or Microsoft and they are doing Java, then it's moved to Java, and next day they get key in the tower research they are getting backend role in the Python, so they move to Python. So frequently switch from the languages. So what is your suggestion for that students?
Yeah, stick to your basics. See, so I would say, okay, I will ask you a question here. What is the level at which we are talking of here? Is it a student or is it someone working?
It's totally in the college, like the people who are in the first year to fourth year, like they are going for their placement because different type of companies coming in the college. Someone hire for Java, someone hire for Python, and someone hire only for the front end roles. So how they will classify ki what their interest and on which language they will go.
Ah, okay. So now you have actually asked a very controversial question, I would say. Uh, See, I always think that you need to focus on a problem statement, okay, that you are interested in.
Okay.
See, I come from a business family, okay. We never optimize for like हम ये नहीं पूछते कि अगर मुझे इस तरह से प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व करना है तो मैं क्या करूं.
Okay.
I ask what is the problem, I'll find a solution,
Okay.
right? So don't Just because someone in tower research is getting hired for C++ or Python, you stick to C++, you change to C++ or Python, you're never going to get anywhere, I would say.
Okay.
The reality is you need to be a master at one thing.
Okay.
Uh, like for example, if you are into deep learning, I was in deep learning first.
Hmm.
There is only Python and R.
Yeah.
And now I'm not going to be like okay, I was doing Java right now, लेकिन deep learning के लिए मेरे को Python अच्छी लग रही है. Then I'll switch to Python. Not really going to help anyone because you're never going to be able to compete with those people who are doing Python for deep learning for the last 5 years continuously. Never going to happen.
Totally
I
agree.
mean, it's like a 0.01% chance that you may crack the interview, but it's not going to be easy for you to survive there. So to answer your question, how to choose what to do, there's no right or wrong answer. Whatever you choose, just stick to it for a good amount of time. Like I remember, I didn't do anything except for Python in my college.
Okay.
Nothing. I never even touched anything else. No Java, no C++, nothing. I did C++ a lot later, which is actually a mistake. So, uh, probably because I was always into deep learning side, and I was never interested in software engineering at that time. So at that time, I only focused on Python because of
Okay.
the data analysis and the graphs and everything. It was a lot easier in Python. Yeah. So again, there's no right or wrong answer. You just have to stick to one thing, whatever you choose,
Okay.
and stick to it for a good amount of time.
Okay.
L- Your reason to switch shouldn't be a LinkedIn or a Twitter post.
Yeah.
It should be a very strong reason. Like right now, I work in Golang completely. So I didn't switch to Golang because मेरे को suddenly नाम अच्छा लग गया कहीं पे सुनने को आ गया I'll go for it. I switched to Golang because when I was supposed to work on a project in Cisco, it was for Kubernetes operators, and Python is not fast enough compared with Golang.
Yeah. Agree.
So that's why I had to switch to Go. So your reasons really matter on what you're solving right now. But to be very honest, in the initial interviews and everything, you don't really have to worry about a language unless you're going for a startup.
Okay. Yeah. Agree.
There they want someone who is into Python only, for example, because their tech stack is in Python. So this is a tough question to answer. I would say whatever you choose, it's fine. Just stick to it.
Okay. So my next question is कि people are worried about कि doing lead code or code forces. Like some people are doing code forces and some people are doing only lead code. So how much CP helpful for their interviews and how DSA will help to prepare their for making them a good problem solver.
Okay, I am guilty. I never did competitive programming.
Okay, but right now you are a SD2 at Microsoft.
But I know people who are really good at competitive programming. Okay.
Okay,
See, what I have noticed is data structures is or lead code is for width. You go across a width of problems, and you go across a width of data structures,
agree,
right? But comparative programming is optimizing on time and memory in a lot of depth,
yeah,
right? So if you're going for interviews, comparative programming is something which is going to make your DSA preparations a lot easier.
agree,
That there is no doubt about it. If you're a comparative programmer, you can do lead code very well.
agree, totally
But if
agree,
you're a lead coder, you may not be very good at comparative programming
agree.
because it's a very different game, is what I have seen. So if your focus is actually to get into competitive programming, you want to participate in the competitions that happen via Code Chef or Code Vita or whatever, then that's you have to go for CP. There's no question about it. You need to have a rating. Then it becomes like a hobby actually.
Yeah, agree.
It's a very good hobby. It's a very good hobby. Like my father, he has a hobby of solving Sudoku every morning.
That's great.
Okay, like it's a very good hobby. There's nothing wrong with it, but it really depends on your goal. Like for example, I have a friend of mine who's in Microsoft. He's from IIT Kanpur. He does CPU even today because he loves doing it. He really enjoys it.
Yeah. कुछ लोग के पैसन हो जाता है
कुछ
वो
लोग लाइक हाँ लाइक कुछ लोग एक्चुअली में पागल होते हैं भाई उसकी रेटिंग आई डोंट आई थिंक अराउंड 2100 or something I don't even know, right? So and he's still doing it because he wants to maintain it. I never did it. Not my forte.
agree.
So I think lead code is enough if your aim is to just solve interviews.
Hmm.
But if you really want to get into the nitty-gritty details of time and memory optimization on another level, only then CP is there. Excuse me.
भैया like the our audience are mainly a college students, so from 9 to 4 they have to spend in the college and minimum criteria is 75% and some colleges have 85% attendance. So how
85?
85, some colleges have
Oh
85.
my.
So
Damn, that's not good.
I agree, but some
Yeah.
colleges have. So how they will maintain their regular DSA practice and development practices, and what are your suggestion for that students ki how they will maintain their learnings with their college preparation? We all know that कि हम लोग कॉलेज एग्जाम से एक रात पहले पढ़ते हैं, that is और यूनिवर्सल ट्रूथ, but हाँ,
Yeah.
how they will continue their DSA and development parallelly.
See, this answer actually also comes for working people because I think the timelines are very similar,
Yeah, agree.
right? Probably nine. So I had my job in Cisco from 10 to 5 on an average, but there's no end time. It can sometimes finish a lot earlier, it may sometimes go a lot later.
Hmm.
See, so it depends. I remember when I was preparing, for me, my DSA instructor was Striver bhai. I, not because not because I don't like other YouTubers or something. Nothing like that. When I was starting my preparation, I just saw two people. One was I saw Aditya Verma from DP, and I
Very
saw
good God.
Striver for graphs, and I just continued. I didn't really look anywhere else. So they were the first two people I saw, and I continued, right? So what I did is I stick to them for doing 2 3 problems in a day.
Agree.
Okay, and again networking. I reached out to a friend of mine who was in Google. मैंने
Okay.
सीधा उसको एक दिन वीकेंड पे कॉल करा. उसका नाम सिद्धार्थ है. तो मैंने उसको बोला सिद्धार्थ यार तुम तो गूगल पहुंच गए हमको क्या करना चाहिए. तो ही सेंट मी द इंटरव्यू प्रिपरेशन गाइड. सो व्हेन यू आर शॉर्टलिस्टेड फॉर द इंटरव्यूज इन गूगल,
Hmm.
गूगल विल सेंड यू अ इंटरव्यू प्रिपरेशन गाइड ऑफ इट्स ओन,
Yeah,
राइट.
last year मेरे को भी मिला था.
हाँ हाँ, तो उसमें दे हैव अ वेरी क्लियर एजेंडा दैट योर गोल शुड बी टू एबल टू सॉल्व लीड कोड मीडियम प्रॉब्लम्स इन 20 to 25 minutes and lead code hard problems in 30 to 35 minutes. So this is a quantifiable goal which I think not a lot of people have. I mean, I was aware of it because I saw his doc and everything, and everyone who got the mail from Google, they will be able to see it. So I saw these two things. I have to reach there, right? And I picked up a topic, graphs, and because मैंने कभी नहीं करा था graphs, तो मैंने graphs उठाया. I did from Strivers. I did 2 to 3 problems in a day.
Okay.
Okay,
Minimum 2 to 3 problems a day.
not minimum.
Okay.
सो आई थिंक अगर कोई मुझे आज कॉलेज का बच्चा आके ये बोलेगा, अगेन आई माइट साउंड अ लिटिल हार्श बट आई डोंट रियली वांट टू शुगर कोट इट.
Agree.
अगर कोई आके कॉलेज का स्टूडेंट मुझे बोलेगा या बोलेगी कि यार मेरे पास में डीएसए प्रैक्ट 2 3 प्रॉब्लम करने का भी टाइम नहीं है, देन इट्स अ प्रॉब्लम. आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू बिलीव देम.
हम्म, उनके पास टाइम होता है पर वो एक्स्ट्रा चीज़ों के साथ कंबाइन हो जाते हैं, तो ये थोड़ा दिक्कत है.
विच इज़ ऑल्सो फाइन. विच इज़ ऑल्सो फाइन. कुछ लोगों को नहीं जाना होता भाई टेक में, क्या करेंगे अब. कुछ लोगों को नहीं जाना, इट्स नॉट एन इशू. लेकिन अगर आपका गोल है कि मुझे टेक में जाना है, मुझे सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियरिंग का रोल क्रैक करना है, देन आई थिंक यू नीड टू डू 2-3 प्रॉब्लम्स अ डे, एटलीस्ट थर्ड ईयर से तो स्टार्ट करना पड़ेगा. ओके, यू कैन इग्नोर फर्स्ट 2 years. फर्स्ट 2 years फोकस ऑन नेटवर्किंग. जितना बात गो नेटवर्क. एंड नेटवर्किंग डजंट मीन जस्ट पीपल, नेटवर्किंग मीन सम प्रॉब्लम्स ऑल्सो. गो फाइंड आउट कि भाई लोग क्या प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व कर रहे हैं.
Okay.
एंड उसके बाद में आपने अगर स्टार्टअप बना लिया, जैसे मेरे रूममेट ने बना लिया, उसको अच्छा प्रॉब्लम मिल गया, ही वर्कड ऑन इट एंड ही डिड वेल, ही वर्कड रियली हार्ड, राइट. सो वो भी होता है. लेकिन इफ यू नॉट एबल टू, देन थर्ड ईयर सेकंड सेम से यू गॉट टू स्टार्ट डूइंग एटलीस्ट 2 to 3 प्रॉब्लम्स अ डे. आई डोंट थिंक देयर इज एनीथिंग अराउंड दैट.
For college placements, like people are going for off campus and on campus. So, what are the challenges they are facing, and what are the benefits of in campus across off campus? So,
सो
what's your
इन कैंपस का सबसे, यार देखो, ऑन कैंपस इंटरव्यू में इंटरव्यू गारंटीड है.
okay?
मतलब आपको एटलीस्ट ऑनलाइन असेसमेंट तो 100% आ ही जाएगा. देयर इज नो, बिकॉज द कंपनी वांट्स टू हायर यू, दे आर कमिंग. वो लोग आ रहे हैं आपके पास में.
Hmm.
ऑफ कैंपस में आप जा रहे हो उनके पास में.
Okay, yeah, I
वहां
agree.
पे ओवर देयर इवन ऑनलाइन असेसमेंट इज नॉट गारंटीड, फॉरगेट द इंटरव्यू. Over there you are actually, so when it's on campus, think statistically. ठीक है. मेरे in my batch there were say around 100 people in computer science, 100 people in electronics, 100 people in IT, 300 people. ठीक है. And the Amazon came to my college. वैसे these numbers are only for scale, don't, they are not the real numbers. Amazon came to my college. They're like, we want to take a set number of engineers from your thing. Let's say they want to take 5. So, and you're submitting your resume. ठीक है. तो 5 में से you're actually competing with only 300 people there. So
Okay.
your resume needs to be better than 300 people.
Hmm.
लेकिन अगर आप ऑफ कैंपस जाते हो एंड यू आर गोइंग टू एन ऑनलाइन जॉब पोर्टल, जो मैंने इंटेल में किया था, आई एम गोइंग टू एन ऑनलाइन जॉब पोर्टल. आई सॉ व्हाट्स द जॉब आईडी, आई रीच आउट टू अ पर्सन ऑन इंटेल, आई आस्क्ड हर कि मुझे रेफरल दे दो. शी रेफर्ड मी, नॉट एन इशू, इट्स अ वन टाइम जॉब फॉर हर. बट ओवर देयर आर 50,000 जॉब एप्लीकेशंस. So your resume needs to be better than 50,000. So there's, it's not even a question. Off campus is very difficult, and to, very kudos to people who are able to get an off campus role, because it really requires a lot more work to do there,
Okay.
right?
If someone going for the in campus and you are the recruiter and who take the interview of the in campus with a tier 3 or tier 4 college or tier 2 colleges, so what are the things you want in their resume, so they will prepare
See,
for
I'll be very honest, okay? If I'm coming on campus,
hmm.
I'll give everyone an online assessment.
Okay.
I'll put a threshold. कि if there are 3 questions, whoever solves 2 questions, they'll go for the interviews.
Okay.
2 questions मतलब hacker rank पे you should get the most optimized solution. As an example. So let's say out of 300, same numbers, out of 300, only 50-60 people were able to solve all the 3 questions.
Hmm.
Okay?
Okay.
2 out of 3 questions.
Okay.
Okay? अब उसमें भी there are people who are able to solve all 3 questions.
Okay.
Right? Now, for me, those people are actually going to have more weightage than those who solve 2 out of 3 questions.
Hmm.
Right?
Right.
So maybe, see, again, I'm being honest here, okay? I can't really say, because some people are just very good at interviews.
Hmm.
But at the end of the day, I am coming for a coder. Where I am coming for a engineering student to be hired as a software engineer, I want a good coder at that point of time.
Okay.
But that person should also be able to communicate.
Yeah, that's the biggest reason people like those who are thinking I am a coder or I am an engineer, they are not communicate with the
they
interviewer.
they they are not able to communicate. And see, this is, see, I'll say a statement which again might be problematic for some people, but it's actually true, right? I had a friend of mine. I think probably मैंने जितने भी आज तक वो टाइम पे मतलब मेरे कॉलेज में प्रोग्रामर्स देखे थे, आई थिंक ही वॉज प्रॉब्ली द बेस्ट ऑफ द लॉट. ओके, इट्स जस्ट दैट ही डिड नॉट नो हाउ टू टॉक टू विमेन.
Okay,
एंड उसकी एचआर एक लड़की आ गई,
okay.
and he didn't get selected. He just was not able to talk at all. He had the best tech scores.
Communication matters.
Communication, अरे मतलब आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि कम्युनिकेशन मैटर्स ओनली.
हाँ, लाइक
एक एक
आपको
मिनिमम एक मिनिमम थ्रेशोल्ड तो होना ही चाहिए भाई. अ, ये बहुत रेयर केस है, मतलब कि ऐसा हो गया, बट ऐसा भी होता है.
हाँ,
ठीक है. मे बी ऑन कैंपस अगर मैं आ रहा हूँ रिक्रूटमेंट करने, मैं हो सकता है कि कम्युनिकेशन को फिर भी थोड़ा वेटेज कम दूँ, लेकिन कोडिंग आनी चाहिए.
ओके,
ऑन कैंपस इंटरव्यूज में थोड़ी लीनियंसी होती है,
ओके,
बिकॉज वी ऑलरेडी हैव अ मेट्रिक कि भाई हमको 4 इंजीनियर्स निकालने हैं यहाँ से.
ओके,
सो वहाँ थोड़ी लीनियंसी होती है. सो इट रियली डिपेंड्स कि हाउ द रेस्ट ऑफ द लॉट इज एंड स्टफ लाइक दैट. I have not gone for it, so I probably won't be able to answer it in a lot of detail. But one thing I will really suggest people is to work on your communication.
ओके.
Prepare for the HR round also, not just the technical round.
हाँ, क्योंकि काफ़ी लोग मेनी स्टूडेंट्स आर स्किपिंग दिस चार राउंड, दे आर थिंकिंग कि वो रैंडम क्वेश्चन या वो सिलेक्टेड क्वेश्चन ही बार बार पूछते हैं, तो वो उसको कॉम्पिटिट कर लेते हैं, उसको निकाल लेते हैं
ठीक है.
पूरे.
Even if they ask a random question, that's fine. But they should be able to answer no,
एग्री.
and they they should be able to answer eh, like I don't know. Uh, कुछ तो बोलना ही पड़ेगा यार.
एग्री.
कुछ लोग, some people just get blank because they are way too quiet or shy or whatever it is, and I don't blame them. It really depends ki which environment they have come from, what exactly has been their friend circle in college, before college. So can't blame them also, because your environment plays a lot of role, right? And over the time they'll get better, I know that for sure, but thoda to communication you'll have to practice. Mock HR interview should be a thing. I know it'll not be as difficult as a technical interview might be, but you'll have to give something. 30 minutes में से you should be able to at least answer for 20 minutes. Don't skip it,
ओके.
because it shouldn't be like मतलब I feel really bad for people जिनका technical skill is way too good, but they are just not able to communicate and they get rejected.
ओके.
That's actually, मतलब मुझे पर्सनली बहुत बुरा लगता है उनके लिए कि मतलब भाई यू डिड ऑल द हार्ड पार्ट्स.
या सॉफ्ट स्किल पर ध्यान नहीं दिया उन लोगों ने. सो व्हाट आर द मेन सॉफ्ट स्किल एज ए इंजीनियर वी हैव, लाइक वी हैव टू फोकस ऑन, लाइक हम सोचते हैं कि हम सिर्फ कोड कर रहे हैं, बट इन द इंडस्ट्री वी आर नॉट जस्ट कोडिंग, वी आर गोइंग फॉर प्रेजेंटेशन, वी आर गोइंग टू शो कि व्हाट वी आर डेवलपिंग. क्योंकि जब आप इंडस्ट्री में जाते हो तो आपके मैनेजर होते हैं एंड यू हैव टू एक्सप्लेन व्हाट यू आर डूइंग इन द लास्ट फ्यू डेज और लास्ट फ्यू मंथ. सो
राइट.
उस वक्त आपको वो सॉफ्ट स्किल्स काफ़ी इंपॉर्टेंट होती है. सो व्हाट आर यू थिंकिंग अबाउट दिस सॉफ्ट स्किल, व्हाट आर दिस सॉफ्ट स्किल लाइक वी कैन डेवलप इन आवर कॉलेज टाइम स्पेशली.
Yeah. Okay. First things first, as I already repeat, I'm going to say this a lot because I am seeing the power of it. Networking. Just you are having coffee in the office, someone who is not from your team is there, just tell a hi and ask them what they are doing.
सही
Just ask them, and just share knowledge, talk to them. Ki, this is what we are doing. I'm very interested to know what is the problem statement you're solving. Just network. Just randomly talk. In fact, I used to work in a startup earlier, Hyperverge, as a deep learning engineer, intern, sorry. And there we used to have, so in the entire organization, they used to make a group of 4 people randomly.
okay.
It used to be like the random coffee team of the day. Those 4 people had to actually spend an hour with each other and communicate with one another. It was part of the job for them to do that. So network, just talk to people. Okay. Second, and I think it's very important to do this, is when you're coding, think one very important soft skill, it's highly underrated, is documentation.
Agree.
Right? Like, in fact, I would say it's a technical skill more than a soft skill, because it is a real thing. You're writing what you're doing in a right manner. Design docs and development docs are very important. And one of the most important skills that I would say is writing it. See, because when you're the developer, you have the context of what you're developing,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you write a doc with subconsciously having that context in your mind.
या एग्री. अगर जो
But the
आप बना रहे
person,
हो जो आप
हाँ, but
बना
the,
रहे हो उसे आपको लिखना आना चाहिए, नहीं तो.
नहीं नहीं नहीं, वो तो लिखना आ जाएगा,
हम्म.
लेकिन writing it in such a way that there is no context. Assuming zero context in writing a doc is a very underrated skill.
ओके.
Like, I'll give you an example. I think the best documentation I've found online is on Kubernetes.
ओके.
Okay, Kubernetes documentation is really good. Okay, and they have written it in such a way that they have assumed zero context, that the person who's reading it has absolutely no idea what they're reading, and they're just reading.
ओके.
But when you're a developer, it's very difficult to think from that perspective. Ki, acha, what if I had zero context? How would I want this to be documented? It's not easy to do that. It's a very good skill to have. And interpersonal skills are very important. Okay. Uh, I see. At the end of the day, you're not in a college. Okay.
एग्री. आफ्टर 4 years you have to come into the job
You
market.
you're coming into the job market, and I'll be very honest with you. You bring in the same momentum, गाली गलौच वाला अपने दोस्तों के साथ में आप जैसे बात करते हो, यू कम इन विद द सेम मोमेंटम, लेकिन कुछ लोग बहुत बुरा मान जाते हैं.
ओके. या.
ठीक है. लाइक, नॉट एवरी वन शेयर्स द सेम एनर्जी दैट यू हैड विथ योर फ्रेंड्स और योर फ्रेंड्स हैड विथ यू. राइट. मेरे हिसाब से तो एक तो गाली देर ही नहीं चाहिए भाई, लेकिन वो हो जाता है. पता है, लड़के जब बात करते हैं ना, ऐसे ही नहीं बोल देते हैं, बिकॉज उनका पूरा, और वो कॉलेज में भी वैसा ही फ्रेंड सर्कल रहा है. एंड एंड देर इज अ ट्रेनिंग इन इन एवरी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, आई वुड से पॉश की ट्रेनिंग होती है भाई.
या.
प्रिवेंशन ऑफ सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट की ट्रेनिंग होती है. इफ़ यू आर गिविंग, अगर आप एक गाली दे रहे हो, ठीक है, एंड वो किसी अनइंटेंडेड थर्ड पर्सन ने सुन भी ली, वो फिर भी पॉश फाइल कर सकते हैं आपके ऊपर.
ओके.
वो कॉन्वर्जेशन का पार्ट होंगे भी नहीं. फिर भी उन्होंने बस सुन ली, एंड देर लाइक, मैं अनकंफर्टेबल हूँ, मुझे ये नहीं सुनना, तो आई वॉन्ट टू फाइल अ क्लेम, एंड इट्स रियली नॉट गोइंग टू बी गुड.
एग्री.
योर लैंग्वेज इन साइड द ऑफिस, स्पेशली नाउ, अब आप वर्क फ्रॉम होम भी नहीं कर सकते. आई थिंक फ्रॉम द नेक्स्ट ईयर माइक्रोसॉफ्ट इज मैंडेटिंग 5 days a week, Amazon already mandated 5 days a week, Walmart mandated 5 days a week, ऑल द बिग, गूगल भी 3 दिन पे आ गई है, वो भी 4 दिन 5 दिन पे आ ही जाएगी. Everyone is moving to office, right? So you've got to be very careful. Just don't, be very careful with your words. Think before you speak is one of the most underrated things.
ओके. Yeah, agree.
And last but not the least, at the end of the day, although we are working in the same company, not everyone will have the team spirit वाला mindset.
एग्री, ये मैं
ठीक
मानता
है,
हूँ खुद.
it's a harsh reality. And so you need to be careful ki if you are sharing an idea, or if you're sharing a thought process, or if you're sharing that idea, can be a solution idea, it could be a product idea, it could be a customer idea, whatever it is, share it in a documented fashion. Matlab, your name should come when you're sharing it,
ओके.
so
या
that someone else doesn't claim it.
एग्री, ये कंपनी में काफ़ी होता है चीज़ें.
It happens. See, because at the end of the day, it's not even. See, it is a momentum ना. Competitiveness is a momentum जो हमारे एजुकेशन सिस्टम लेके आ रहा है भाई बचपन से. मतलब फर्स्ट ग्रेड से ही फर्स्ट रैंक सेकंड रैंक वाली बात चालू हो जाती है. सो someone who has practiced for 20 years being competitive, they just randomly won't be collaborative.
वो
I
होता
come, so I play football, ठीक है, and I can guarantee you, I started playing football 2 to 3 years back. लेकिन without football, I had zero team spirit.
है.
Zero. मतलब I was so competitive, and रातों की नींद उड़ जाती है भाई उसमें. And it is something which is a momentum. My team spirit वाला concept came when I started playing football. Otherwise, zero team spirit भाई. मतलब I can't even sugarcoat that. So yes, you need to think about the company and the product, but when you are giving something to someone else, try your best to gauge कि भाई is the person trustworthy. Be careful ki which surrounding you are talking about it in, and always write it before you tell it, because when you write it, it's recorded somewhere.
It's recorded. I agree. So move to the fresher and early professional section. So how different are real software engineering in Cisco compared to what you expect from the college?
Okay, so see, when you're doing software engineering in college, you have a clear problem statement, and there is a solution to it. Whether it's brute force or highly optimized, there is a solution to it. Okay. But real engineering problems, they don't have a single correct solution. In fact, half the job is figuring out what the problem is. Like my manager actually had given a very strong. So whatever I like about my role or my job, I want to shout out to my manager. He really made me like the field of software engineering. I was actually blessed to get a manager like that. His name is Ganeshan. He was in Cisco. He is a senior tech lead in Cisco. Uh, I he had a very strict thing कि unless you can explain me what you're solving on the Jira in one line and 10 lines. मतलब you should be able to give the problem statement in one line, and if I ask you to explain, you should be able to give a 10-line paragraph also. Unless you're having both of these things, you shouldn't write even a single line of code.
Agree?
So getting, and in fact there is a similar thing in Amazon also. Amazon 6 pager, for people who are seeing it, you should Google it. It's a very good concept actually. I would really like people to get into the habit of writing a 6 pager or a 4 pager in Amazon, whatever is the setup. It's very good. It actually forces you to think. Matlab, I was speaking to a friend of mine in Amazon. In the entire quarter, he didn't write a single line of code. He just wrote 2 6 pager docs, which he implemented in the next quarter,
Okay.
because they went through a lot of iterations. Of course, this was long back when Amazon was not laying off right, left, right, and center. I think it was in 2022. But still, it shows how much importance they give to it, and it's very good actually. So, figuring out what exactly the problem is very important. वो ही एक बहुत बड़ा shift है, because in interviews you're given the problem very clearly. Given an array, I want you to return the longest increasing sub-array with all the examples and things. But here you won't have. Here the business person will come and be like, Brother, what I want to do is, मेरा phone, if it is lost somewhere, I want to be able to find it.
Okay.
That's all. He'll just give this. Then you need to sit with that person through multiple calls on customer meetings and be like, what if this happens, what if that happens. You only have to think. He'll only give you some data, and then you'll break it down into epics and everything, and then you'll assign a few teams to do this. You'll assign a few members of your team to do this. So figuring out the problem is very important. uh, Reading old code and everything, being comfortable with ambiguity is very important.
Yeah, I agree.
There's no clear problem statement more often than not, and the ambiguity keeps increasing when you go further into your career. First 1 or 2 years you still may have a very clear thing, but after that the ambiguity keeps increasing, and then you just have to ask, and sign the person, whoever is coming with the requirement, that person will sign off ki acha, I'm okay if this happens, I'm okay if this happens, and then you code for it. So yeah.
Okay. So, what are the skills that matters when you come into the first job? Like it's your intern, either it's a internship or it's a full-time job. What are the one skill that really matters?
So more often than not, you won't write a code from scratch. You have an existing code base.
Hmm.
Okay. So you need to be able to deconstruct it.
Agree.
You have a constructed code base, and
Hmm.
you will be like, just go over the code. They'll be like, go through the code. What is the meaning of that? It actually means you start from main.py or main.go and look at what is happening in different options. So this is called as deconstructing the code base. You should be very this like you should, and you should have some experience with IDE, VS Code or whatever it is. So you should have something like, if you do right click, find all references, you should be, then you'll be like, okay, which is the right reference for me. That is very important. Another thing I would suggest is unit testing. Again, this is something interviewers never, very hardly. I think only Google asked me ki how will you write the unit test of this question, of this code.
Yeah.
No one else asked me. Okay, and again, documentation. I'm just reiterating it. Uh, the best documentation is written for someone with no context at all,
Agree.
and doing that as a developer is very hard, because when you are the one who is writing documentation for the code you wrote, you have all the context, right?
Hmm.
So that's a skill. So, and debugging, systematic debugging is very important, going through the observability. But again, I think debugging like observability debugging comes a lot later. But if I have to give you one skill, which is your main question, I would say you should be able to walk through an entire code base.
So right now, a lot of IDs are present in the market who just you just write the prompt and they will implement all the things and also also solve the bugs. So generally, the companies giving this ID, this subscription to their interns and the fresher. So what you want to say to that people who are using and not getting much deeper into the that code base? So what is your suggestion for that developers?
You know, if you're not getting deep into the code base now, after a point of time, uh, it becomes like, I'll give you an example. There is something called as an SLA, service level agreement. Okay.
Okay.
uh, Say your, so let's say you have S3 bucket in Amazon. Okay. So the S3 bucket has an SLA of read of 6 nines. So matlab the S3 bucket should be able to give responses 99.9999 percentage of the time.
Okay.
And it has a write SLA. Matlab when you're putting something into the S3 bucket, it has a write SLA of, I think, 4 nines, if my memory serves right. So 99.99% of the time that should work. Now when your write SLA is 99.99%, if you let me just confirm, SLA of 99.99%, it actually only allows you a downtime of yearly 52 minutes.
Okay,
So in 1 year, your service can actually be down only for 52 minutes in 365 days.
that is quite amazing. Like 52 minutes. Like people are there are a lot of databases जो काफ़ी टाइम लेते हैं मंथली मंथली हर बार उनको डाउन टाइम आता है पर that is quite good.
Yeah, now just imagine if you're not going deep into the code base, and every single time an IDE has to do it for you, and more often, and it happens quite often that the IDE might not be able to give you very right results. It happens because आपका prompt में गलती हो सकता है, because prompt engineering is a field in itself right now. Okay, so if your prompt is wrong to the IDE, you prematurely, without any context to the code, without going deep into the code, gave a wrong prompt, and the IDE gave an output which, without reviewing, and you can review something only when you know what is right. Without reviewing, you deploy it to dev stage and production, and it is not solved. So you may lose your half of your 52 minutes in the first problem only,
Yep.
right? So I just want to say this, this is a possible scenario which can happen if you soul. See, AI can be your helper, and it's a very good helper, there's no doubt about it. लेकिन अगर आपको आपका कोड नहीं पता, then it's very easy to breach an SLA,
Agree.
because you can write good prompts when you know your code.
Agree.
So I don't want to say anything else about this.
Okay. So as a SD3 at Cisco, what are the roles and responsibilities beyond writing the code?
Hmm. Okay. So first things first, design. Design docs are very important. Thinking about edge cases, thinking the customer flow from start to end, stitching it in your mind and documenting it, thinking what will happen if this breaks, if this breaks. So thinking around these edge cases is very important. Now about this, I'll give you one very important, and there are two things that will come here that I'm able to think of right now. If you're more often than not, if you're in a large organization, as I said earlier, you will end up writing code or that is already existing. You'll contribute to an existing code,
Agree.
right? So they might have been written in a very different time, in very different constraints. At that time, the infrastructure might have been on-prem. Now they are moving to cloud. So anything can happen. Now, one of the most important things in this thing is you may have a few edge cases which you have to ignore solving also.
Okay.
Because if you go and solve that, you might be causing some other issue to the existing code which was written for a different infra. So you'll get stuck in this engineering loop. So one of the important things when you go ahead is you need to be able to ignore solving some cases as well. Of course, if you have written the code from start so well that it doesn't happen, great, but it's very difficult, especially when there are multiple people involved. It's not easy. So one thing I would say is, one thing I had to do, which was a little shocking for me, is that ignoring edge cases. If it comes, I'll just give a warning message and just go ahead. I won't solve for it, right? Another thing is, one thing that we have to do is obviously reviewing someone else's code. Now that's another nightmare, because people love their code here. They think that whatever code they have written at the level of Karpathy only. It can just never be wrong, and at times you have to sit with them. And this is something I've noticed in some other engineers as well. I never had to review a lot of code because, uh, and it's on the same level people, right? But sometimes what I've seen is when people is at a very high level, they start liking the way they write code,
ओके,
right?
या एग्री, हर
And
किसी
they
को अपना कोट प्यारा होता है।
अपना कोड प्यारा होता है और अपना कोड का थॉट प्रोसेस भी प्यारा होता है,
हाँ, दोनों।
राइट? लाइक कुछ लोगों को एक्टिव वॉइस पसंद है इंग्लिश में, तो कुछ लोगों को पैसिव वॉइस पसंद है, दोनों सही है।
हाँ,
ठीक है,
दोनों।
मतलब ये एग्जांपल मैं कई बार देता हूँ, आई गिव दिस एग्जांपल अ लॉट, कि एक्टिव पैसिव बोथ आर राइट। सम पीपल लाइक टू स्पीक इन फर्स्ट पर्सन पर्सपेक्टिव, सम पीपल लाइक टू स्पीक इन थर्ड पर्सन पर्सपेक्टिव। लाइक कुछ लोग होते हैं वो बोलते हैं, जैसे मेरा नाम केशव है, लाइक केशव ऐसे नहीं करता।
या
इंस्टेड ऑफ सेइंग मैं ऐसे नहीं करता, दे लाइक केशव ऐसे नहीं करता।
किसी
सो
को नहीं करता।
बोथ आर नॉट रॉन्ग, इट्स जस्ट दैट यू माइट नॉट लाइक समथिंग। ठीक है,
या
एंड दिस कम्स अप अ लॉट ड्यूरिंग कोड रिव्यूज। ठीक है,
या एग्री।
सो
उसने मेरा कोट कैसे रोक दिया।
सो
ये
दिस
होता है।
दिस कम्स अप अ लॉट। सो यहाँ पे योर पेशेंस विल कम टू द पिक्चर, कि you patiently explain to them with proper evidence. You shouldn't be like कि सर मैं तो ऐसे ही लिखता हूँ। You should be like, I am writing like this because this is the convention I'm following, which is coming from another code base. You give them the link to the other code base. You need to sometimes be careful with your words. The person may be giving a very idiotic argument, but still you need to keep your patience, and then you need to be like, no, this is a problem that is being solved in this way, in some other way. So precedents matter, कि कहीं और ये चीज़ हो रहा है कि नहीं। एंड हाँ, one thing which is again a very interesting thing is, some people they like very clever code, because languages like Python and Golang, they have given wrappers जो 4-5 लाइन के कोड को एक लाइन में डाल देते हैं, and they write that, and which is fine, they are not wrong, because Python and Golang it allows it. But sometimes you need to write readable code more than clever code. What if your code is being reviewed by someone on call who doesn't know that language very well?
ये भी है।
So that person for that line has to Google. They'll end up spending 3-4 minutes there to understand what's actually happening. So आपका 52 minutes of the SLA में से 4 मिनट वहाँ चला जाता है।
एग्री।
ये ये SLA का बहुत बड़ा गेम है भाई। मतलब आई स्टार्टेड सीइंग दिस इन माइक्रोसॉफ्ट आफ्टर आई जॉइंड 6 months बैक, लाइक दे आर वेरी क्रेजी अबाउट इट एक्चुअली. So writing readable code is more important than writing clever code. The language may be allowing it, so it's better to write 4 or 5 extra lines which is readable by everyone than writing that one clever line which is which only that one person can understand, who has that very good language knowledge. So these are a few things I would mention.
So, in your thinking, what makes separate from a junior developer to the senior developer, and how the thinking will develop from a junior developer to senior developer day by day?
So one of the biggest difference is how, again I'm getting back the ambiguity thing, कि a senior developer is a lot better at handling ambiguous problem statements,
Okay.
because a person who has just joined, I don't like the word junior senior, it's just about the experience, right?
Huh.
So a person who has just joined in an entry level role straight out of college, that person, or and for the next 1 or 2 years, they have not worked very well under ambiguity, because their managers will give them tickets and they'll give them exact requirements that your code will need to fix this issue, right? So they work a lot better. A senior engineer essentially works a lot better under ambiguity. There's no fixed issue, right? Another thing which is again very important is understanding the business impact.
Okay.
Uh, a junior engineer speaks about the code, a senior engineer will speak about customer experience.
Okay.
They'll be like how to make, junior engineer will talk more ki how to make, write the best possible code, best possible product. The senior engineer will be like, the customer wants this solved in the next 2 days. I don't care if it's not the best possible code, solve it in 2 days because the customer wants it right now.
Okay.
So they focus on business,
Okay.
because they are like, I am ready to have a bit of course, if they're senior, they can even write very well code a lot better if they are more experienced, because it comes with time. But they think a lot about the business comparatively.
So
Like,
how we shift the mindset from the junior developer, like how you become the Cisco software engineer to SD3 at Cisco. What are the challenges and what are the things you done in your journey so that you become a SD1 to SD3 at Cisco?
hmm. Okay, first of all, I was actually very lucky that I got projects that were under a lot of visibility.
Okay,
Okay,
visibility matters.
visibility matters. Which team you're joining, it really matters.
Team also matter.
Team matters. Because if you want, like, I maybe not now, maybe I'll send it to you on personal WhatsApp, and you can probably post it in description. I'll send to you a Medium blog which an Amazon SD3 had written. But that SD3 in Amazon only has 6.5 years of experience, which is very rare. That a person with 6.5 years in Amazon ends up having SD3 or senior software engineer. I don't remember what exactly was the name.
Okay.
He explains that the only reason he got this trajectory in career is because he started in a product which was under very high visibility,
Okay.
and he started when there were only 7 to 8 people in the team, and he and eventually the team ended up being a team of around 50 people, I think.
Okay.
So your contributions were a lot more compared to the others, right, who may be of the same age group, because you started from a very low level. He went from around maybe $30 million to some $300 million उतना revenue आने लग गया था वो product से.
Okay. So team
So
also
your,
matter.
yeah, मतलब it really matters at the end of the day. What, see, at the end of the day, you are not making some hobby project.
Yeah.
You are doing something which the company is using to earn money or save money. It's always one of these two things.
Agree.
Either you are doing something which is going to save them money, or you're doing something which is going to get sold to the customer, it's going to earn them money. Unless you're doing any of these two things, they will never put you under visibility.
Agree. What if if we get a team which is not visible and the work is not much contributed to the company growth, like they every company have their own team, and some team have a revenue of very good and someone have their revenue of very less. So if my luck is very bad and I was in that team, so what should I do for my career growth and becoming a better developer and better senior developer if this
Yeah,
is happen?
it's tough, you know. uh, Especially in the first 1 or 2 years, जब पहली बार तनख्वाह आने लगती है अकाउंट में, तब ये सब सोचते ही नहीं है भाई, बिकॉज it's you start thinking about these things a lot later, I would say,
Okay.
right? And I think it really matters ki whom you interact with.
Okay.
uh, if you're honest and if you interact with people who are having a decent trajectory and you actually talk to them ki what is the work they are doing compared to the work I am doing. Like, I was speaking to a senior of mine. He actually works in tower research. Okay, and he works on nanoseconds, man.
Okay. That's
Like,
easy.
yeah, he works on nanoseconds. Now, when you speak like this to people who are working in something like that, and you compare it with the problem statements you're solving, you will start understanding if you want to go to something tougher or not. So, first 1 or 2 years, first of all, enjoy the success. Don't have to hustle always. Okay, if you got a job, stick to that job for say a year, understand what's happening, network with people, communicate with people, and of course, if it's way too toxic, leave it. If you're having the financial bandwidth to leave it, leave it. We'll talk about this for 2 minutes later, but talk to people, understand what others are doing, which you may want to do. Like I am not working in nanoseconds, so maybe I'll probably want to think about going to something like that. That's working in nanoseconds. How did I get? I got this by talking to someone who's doing something else.
Yeah,
So don't ever get into this mentality that just because I'm earning a very good amount of money, I am doing everything right.
agree. ये
Of
होता
course,
है कि
enjoy it, no doubt about it, but just talk to people, see what they are solving, and see what you are solving, and see if that is more interesting to you. And then talking, and again, this all comes back to networking, man. Like, just talking to people. Like, I love talking to people. Like, I just go and just randomly talk to anyone.
okay. So let's talk about your switch, like how you prepare for the Microsoft SD2 role. What are the things you have done for their interview journey, and what are the regrets? Like you are thinking, कि, if I am doing these things while my preparation, it really helps me. Like in the journey of the interview, there are a lot of interviews are also going on, like Microsoft and other companies, like you say Amazon interview. So what are the things you have prepared for that, and what are the mistakes you have done that you think, if I am not doing this, then something better will be happen.
Okay, always start with a list of companies
Okay.
that you want to get to.
Okay,
And
list of companies.
yes, like a category of a list of companies that you want to get to. And don't be like, if you see, again, I'm not disregarding anything. Go for gradual growths. That will be a lot easier. Okay.
Okay.
For example, if you are earning 30, go for a company that's probably going to give you 50. Don't try for a company that will give you 1 CR or something like that. Go for gradual growths and make a list of companies who, at that level of experience, are ready to offer that. So there are statistics online. Go through them. That's very important. Uh, and see, don't get into this loop case. DSA the right way to interview or not? Whether or not it's right or wrong, I don't care. Right now, that's what the companies are looking for.
Okay.
So
So,
practice DSA. Like I had a senior, he had 11 years experience. He still had to give 4 DSA rounds in LinkedIn. So it's there at least for the next 1 or 2 years. It's there. So don't waste your time debating online कि सही है गलत है. Don't waste your time. Cut the noise and take one thing and stick to it. Stick to a resource. I stick to Striver. I didn't do anything else. I stick to Alex Shu for system design. I didn't do anything else. I think why it saves time. See, because when I open a Striver video, I know how his video is generally going to be structured. I don't have to waste my time thinking कि अरे यहाँ पे जाऊँ कि यहाँ पे जाऊँ. I know exactly if I go to 5 minute mark, he'll probably start with the brute force solution. If I go to the 20 minute mark, he'll probably start with the most optimized solution.
okay.
So you'll start jumping easier and you'll save a lot of time.
So what are the resources you just suggest to the audience, for going for a SD2 in a FANG or very good companies? What are the best resources that you suggest?
So for me, DSA, I don't think anyone has done better than Striver. Again, I don't know. I stick to it. I also tried Geeks for Geeks, but my complaint with GFG courses was that they just write the solution and they make you walk through the solution. What I liked about Striver's video is he tries to build intuition why the solution is there,
Okay.
and
Institution
that
matter.
why is very important actually. Okay, so I DSA, I don't want to talk about anyone else apart from Striver. I don't know anyone else, so let's not even go there. Mock interviews. Mock interviews are absolutely essential. Go to your friend, be like, भाई बहन जो भी है मेरे को मॉक इंटरव्यू देना है. Be brutally honest with me and give your interviews on Google Sheets. Write your code on Google Sheets. This is again a very interesting thing that happened with me. Google Docs पे मुझे गूगल का कोड लिखना था.
एग्री. वो लोग अपना
Okay.
प्लेटफॉर्म देते हैं, गूगल डॉक्स की तरह
हाँ
होता है, और उस पर हमें
हाँ.
कोड पूरा लिखना होता है.
Yeah, so try to practice writing your DSA round code without a linter. Like, okay, lead code is fine, to be very honest, but try to practice on Google Sheets after you're well prepared and time your problems.
Okay.
Start the timer on lead code and time your problems. Don't care about why I'm 80% better than others. Doesn't matter. If you're writing the most optimized solution within the stipulated time, that's your goal. For system design, I would suggest Alex Shu. Alex Shu System Design Volume 1 is a must read for anyone who wants HD2 in Amazon or Google or Microsoft. It's a must read because it covers very fundamental topics. Volume 2, it goes very advanced. So I can't have everyone do that, to be very honest. Pick a topic which is according to a question and go for it. LLD, I went for Concepts and Coding by Shreyans Jain, but I saw only 4 or 5 videos. And apart from that, I just saw some design principles and I just used to come up with LLD. That actually was easier for me comparatively because I had a lot of LLD practice in my job itself.
Okay.
So that also matters.
So moving to the next question. Each brand name matters. Like everyone wants to go Fang and big MNCs. So there are there are very good startups like Grow and Flipkart, Zomato. So how brand name matters for you and other people?
See, for me, brand name doesn't matter. Okay. Even today, my dream company is Stripe.
That is quite good. They never ask DSA questions for their
Yeah, for me,
interview.
my dream, no, not because of DSA questions. The
Mhm.
reason I want to work in Stripe or Razorpay is because they work on payments. And the amount, Razorpay, I think, has already reached like a billion transactions in a day or something like that. That's crazy, dude. Like, that's insane. You can never imagine that being the case in most of the startups. I mean, I have a lot of respect for Razorpay and Stripe. Uh, Forget about the interview. So, the thing is, Stripe is not even known to most of the people.
Yeah.
Very few people who are not in the software and will know Stripe, right? So it doesn't matter to me. What really matters are only three things according to me. One, obviously, money. I am Marwadi. I need money bhai, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Okay. Second is a product. What exactly are they working on? Is it something that is catering to my intellectual requirement? I'm not saying others are right or wrong. I'm just saying I want to work in payments. Maybe when I start working, I'll have a different opinion, but it's just a thought right now. Okay. And third and very important is how much you're actually contributing to the revenue of the company.
Okay.
If you're someone who's working for a customer facing product directly, I would want to be there instead of being in. Uh, it's my personal thing, okay? Instead of being in Amazon but not contributing directly to the customer facing product of Amazon. Both are right. It's just my thought process. So what matters is money, product,
Yeah.
and
You are
revenue.
more on B2C, not on B2B.
Yeah. No, no, no. So even if it is B2B, my code should go to the other B directly.
Okay.
Like I shouldn't be writing CI/CD. Uh, what I meant is my product or whatever code I am writing, it should be used by the customer. Whether it's a distributed product like Flipkart or Amazon or all these things, or even if it is a business who is using an enterprise product for themselves, it's fine. But my code should be contributed to the customer. That's what I am more inclined to.
इट्स पॉडकास्ट के बाद आपको जरूर इस टाइप का कॉल आएगा. So my question now coming to the interview preparation. So DSA which is system design which is projects. So how you balance all the things
Hmm.
in the resume?
Hmm. See, you never mention DSA in your resume. You only mention it as a skill at the end of the day. What's really going to attract your the recruiters is your projects and your experience. Okay,
Okay.
and even in that, your experience should be very quantifiable. I think this is a very important thing. You shouldn't be writing very generic things, right? I built a very scalable service uh, that solves this and this problem. You should be like, I built a service that was scaled to 1 million customers with very low with and very low latency or something like that. The numbers are very important. Or whatever code I wrote helped reduce the root cause analysis time of my on-call engineers by 20%. These numbers, these quantifiable numbers are very important in your resume. And obviously, you can't just randomly blurt out some number. You actually go and look at the observability dashboards in your company. They'll show you कि क्या हो रहा है क्या नहीं हो रहा है.
Okay.
So uh, they never ask कि भाई they never see कि I solved 400 plus questions on lead code. That's not very impressive because how do I know how you solved? Like you must have just gone to the solutions and just copy pasted and it'll be coming as solved only. Lead code is not taking that, right. It's coming as solved. That's not real. It's But when you're preparing, you need to prepare for lead code, and when you're presenting yourself, you talk about your projects.
Okay. So,
Because at the end of the day, you're doing lead code for software engineering. You should not forget that. You're not doing lead code for any just for lead code. Lead code क्या है भाई? It's just a tool for you to practice your software engineering fundamentals. But ultimately, you want to be a software engineer, and that comes from projects.
So you talk about getting the metrics from their project, but for the fresher who are in the college, so they don't know how to calculate the metrics of their projects like accuracy, API response time, load balancing thing. So how they will write in their resume, like their project will stand out from the other people's.
Yeah, you need to put a timer on your code. Like
That's
I remember putting a timer dot start time is equals to time dot now and end time is equal to time dot now after the entire API, and in the response JSON I had put that, and I took an average of all of that. I don't know. There may be a better way of doing it, but yeah.
okay. So one more question, like this question is asked in every time. How many lead code problems is enough for cracking big tech interviews?
So you need to go through uh, the lead code discussion forums or the online discussion forums, find out what questions are being asked, what pattern they come under, and solve those patterns.
Okay.
If you like, my lead code I have solved I think 400 problems, and they are across all the patterns, around 50 questions on graph, 50 on DP, and like that they are distributed, right? So it doesn't matter how many questions you're solving, the width, the width matters. Ki, are you See, even if you're doing 150 questions of neat code 150 जो है, if you are comfortably doing any question that comes in that pattern in 20-25 minutes, that's enough. That's your goal. Your goal is to get to a lead code medium in 20 to 25 minutes in a pattern that you have already seen. So there's no, for me it took 400. For someone who is more intelligent than me, it may take 100 questions because their coding might be very good compared with mine, right? So
So my next question is, do you, what are the mistakes do a candidate make during the interview even after good preparation?
yeah, we discussed about this communication.
Well, can
That's very important. Like I remember seeing a blog that a guy was rejected in Google even though he wrote a very good solution because he didn't break his code into functions,
okay,
right? So modularization of your code also is a very important thing, right? So Google I think has a policy written that uh, you shouldn't have more than 30 lines in a function. It has a rule like this, right?
Okay.
So if you're having more than 30 lines, then definitely you can break some portion of your code. There's a thing like that. So communication, modularization, and thinking out loud, why and where. And I think one of the most underrated skills, even in interview preparation, it's not underrated, it's just misunderstood. I think it's definitely something people do eventually, but it's just not mentioned enough, is dry run. You should be able to dry run your code on keyboard. You
Agree.
should be, because they will be like, take this example and give me the dry run of your solution. So three things I would say is communication, modularization, and dry run.
Okay. So one the next question is, it is good to stay long in a single company for a long time.
I see. This is again. I don't know. I don't really. I stayed in Cisco for 4.5 years because it was giving me the growth for that time. But after a point of time, I was not seeing uh, very strong challenges,
Okay.
right? And I tried to switch internally. What matters is the product, not the company.
Okay.
If your product is something that's under good visibility and is doing well, and it's actually uh, there's a word, right? It's tickling your intellect,
Okay.
then it's okay to stay. But if it's not, then you can leave.
Okay.
You can even leave the same team to go in another team in a different company, if you're okay with the salary. I mean, right or wrong, there's nothing here. Some people like to stay long because they like the stocks. So
I agree. So, what is the role of a mentor in your journey?
Hmm. First things first. So I had a senior of mine in college. He's right now senior staff software engineer in Visa. Okay. So I used to. He was in Bangalore only. I was in Bangalore before. Right now I'm in Hyderabad. So he was. I used to meet him. He used to live very close to my house. I used to meet him, and I used to complain कि भैया ऐसे निकलना है, भैया ऐसे निकलना है. He got so irritated. He at a point of time he just asked me one question. I will get you an interview of Visa tomorrow. Will you be able to crack it?
Yeah. ये
The
बहुत
answer was the answer was no. So he, in his brutal honesty, showed me how I had a vision, but I was not having any action. So for me, a mentor is someone who can show me the mirror, not someone who can sugarcoat things. I really appreciate brutal honesty. That's how I am with my friends also. And you can't be that way with everyone. So brutal honesty is very important. Showing the mirror is very important. And I would say he even pushed me during my interview preparation. He was like, "Kar le, thoda sa aur kar le," and then I just kept doing it. So that's very important. Having someone to push you is very important.
so. Let's predict that you are the mentor of someone who are in the college, like 1 to 4 year. So, what are the brutal thing you want to say to your juniors so that they can prepare well and get a good internship and job off campus and in campus?
First of all, I will ask them to stop complaining about your situation. It's not doing good to anyone. It's just wasting your mental energy. I know things might be easier for someone else compared with you. Fine, that is established. But now what? Stop complaining and just do what is needed to be done. That's all. I am not going to tell them anything else. Every time they have a conversation with me, I'll be like, ठीक है भाई, आगे क्या? I want you to talk about solution to the problem, not spend an hour on the problem, right? If you come to me the second time with the same problem, I will be very disappointed. Like भाई, मुझे मेरा time waste हो रहा है.
Okay.
I am here to help you solve a problem, but I am not there to stick with you and cry on the problem again and again.
Yeah, I agree. Joe, what is your suggestion or guidance for the those who come into the internship? Like the internship season is going on. From the next month, every company uh, asks their student to come to the office and start working. And these people are very new to the office culture. So, what are the suggestions to you to that interns and who get the PPOs very soon? So, what are the suggestions and what are the um, things you want कि interns will not do in their internship?
Ah, so it's I I don't know actually. It's a good question. Probably because I never really had an internship converted to PPO and everything, but probably just close your tickets on time. That's all that matters.
Okay,
If you close your tickets on time without really beating around a lot and ज़्यादा ज़्यादा टाइम पास मत करो ऑफिस में मतलब ठीक है कर लो मतलब I don't know I have don't skip your hobbies, don't do anything of that, just come on time, whatever is the time of your team, 10 11 whatever it is, leave whenever you want to leave, but close your tickets on time bhai. That's And if you're just try to solve one more ticket in that time, then you think so. Suppose आपको दो ticket दिए गए हैं in the 2 month internship, try to solve three.
okay.
Simple. Don't Let's not overcomplicate it because ज़्यादा time भी नहीं है तो.
Like the bigger companies में तो ticket solve हो जाएंगे. Like in the startup, they are directly giving the implementation of something new, which are very new in the startup. So how they will do their internship well?
Yeah. So I was in a startup only, Hyperverge. I
Okay.
was in the deep learning side. I was good on the theory of deep learning, but the reason I wasn't able to convert my internship there is because I was not very good with Linux. I was not very good with Bash scripting. All these I didn't know how to use Vim or anything of that sort, right? So ये दो तीन चीज़ें I would say get your hands dirty with Linux because it's very rare that you'll work on non-Linux platforms.
Okay.
Uh, and if they are hiring you as an intern for a one particular technical stack, before it starts, just read about it. Go through what is there, what is not there, and try to get your hands dirty a little bit. Understand what's going on. So, and yes, I would say work on Docker.
Okay. Okay.
Understand what Docker is. Uh, I know there are some more things coming which is like Docker but better than Docker also, a competitor. But Docker and Kubernetes, I wouldn't say learn Kubernetes.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very big thing. In itself, it's a different world only. But I would say get your fundamentals right on Linux. Bash Linux. Basically, you should know how to work with a shell. That is, be good with it, and Docker. Uh, and obviously, whatever you're being hired to in a startup.
Okay.
Because in a
So,
startup, they'll generally hire you for a particular tech stack.
हम्म, agree.
Yeah.
वो पर्टिकुलर एक रोल के लिए ही आपको लेते
Like
हैं.
वो Java Spring Boot के लिए ही लेंगे तो go over Spring Boot projects, see how they are there, how they are not there, understand the recent things, and that should be fine. Don't overcomplicate it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So come to the rapid fire question. Okay.
I'm scared of rapid fire. I'm not very spontaneous. Okay, let's see.
So that what is the one habit that destroy developer growth?
I would say not talking.
Okay, communication.
Not talking. It's very important. Let's just talk.
Okay. The next
Even
question.
in interviews, it's important. Just think whatever is coming in your mind. Yeah.
Okay. The next question is one book or resources that actually help you.
Alex show system design interviews.
Okay.
I'm right now reading designing data intensive application by Martin Kleppman. In fact, it's right here. So
Okay, that's good. And what is one book that is not related to your education? It's related to your life. So which book you suggest everyone to read?
Bhagavad Gita.
That's okay. Advise someone who lost in their 25.
Well, lost in 25.
Yeah.
भाई मैं 27 का हूँ भाई मैं क्या बोल रहा
नहीं,
हूँ.
नहीं. Like advise someone who are in their 25 and they don't know कि how to go in deep in tech or how they will know कि which path is good for that person.
Yeah, probably decide a goal where you want to be.
Okay.
Like, if you're not able to decide the path, then decide the goal that I want to be here, and then see which path is better to get there.
Okay. What is your suggestion for one who are looking for the switch but scared about the interview कि if something will happen and something bad will happen, what to do? So what is your suggestion for that person?
Yeah, yeah, it's better to fail in an exam than not give an exam.
Okay.
Keep giving. You'll get used to it. I was rejected around 20 times, so it's fine.
Okay.
You need to be used to it. Otherwise, there's nothing like डर के क्या हो जाएगा.
So the last question and last two questions. What is your suggestion for their college student who are in the college and what they need to do in the upcoming years so they become a better human and better engineer?
Yeah, I do quit drugs if you're into it. Don't. It's very easy to do it because of the environment and everything. Don't get into that. Find good people to be with. uh, don't sometimes it's difficult to be with, and instead of getting envious of people who are better than you, go and ask them what they did to get better than you.
Agree.
Don't get jealous of them. Go talk, ask them, get inspired by them. कि ask them कि भाई what did you do differently, and they'll tell you, and it's much better to do that.
या एग्री किसी से पूछने से आप छोटा नहीं होगे बल्कि आप
हाँ.
उनसे सीखोगे. सो
Yes.
द ईगो थोड़ा साइड में रखने की ज़रूरत है अगर आप रियली लाइफ में ग्रो करना चाहते हो तो.
Correct.
एग्री. So, and what is your advice who are working professional or who are fresher who just join the company?
Yeah, try to try to network. uh, Read more. uh, Actually, okay, ठीक है, I've told networking enough, so I won't get into it a lot more. But read. See, I'll tell you. I have a friend of mine. She's a doctor. She reads dissertations of how something has been solved in her in a particular operation. उसको डेजर्टेशन बोलते हैं, जो ऑल अक्रॉस द वर्ल्ड उनके जर्नल्स में वो पब्लिश करवाते हैं, राइट. ऐसे ही सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर्स ऑल्सो पब्लिश सम ऑफ देयर वर्क इन कॉन्फ्रेंसेस. Read it. I think that's okay. Maybe not in first year, but maybe after 3 to 5 years, how will you stay relevant? You'll stay relevant like this only. Read the articles, read what is happening in conferences, attend CNCF, like the Cloud Native Foundations by Linux and all that. Attend those conferences. It's very nice.
This question is asked by Sanjay. So his question is कि what tech stack is most future proof and can help to land a good job?
अरे यार. Okay, if you are someone who is able to deal with if you want to stay in web applications, go for Java Spring Boot if you have not learned anything, because even today the number of roles for Java are very high, right? If you're someone who want to go towards data analysis, machine learning side of the world, uh, Python. There's Python, learn PyTorch, something like that. And if you're someone who wants, but for anyone, learn Linux.
Okay.
Learn Linux fundamentals, and that's going to be very important.
Okay.
This is what
So
I have seen in my experience. Obviously, there are more experienced people who may give a better answer, but even today, I see more than 90% of the web traffic goes via Java only. So,
the next question is by the Satya Anand. The question is what is the biggest myth about the tech industry and engineering culture that break you when you join the company?
yeah. just coding is not enough. You need to understand what exactly is the business output of your code.
Okay.
Is it earning money? Is it spending money? How much is it spending? Can we get to profit? These understand the business side. You just can't stick to Java, Python and be like, I'm okay. If you want to grow in the corporate ladder, understanding and solving business problems are more important because ultimately it's a business.
Okay. So this is very common questions. Is it is necessary to speak in English in the interview?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Can't do anything about it.
Then the next question is taken given by the Vanilla. So the his course her question is कि there is a career gap of 3 years. So should industry will accept this career gap, and if they accept it, so what are the things they need to prepare so that they will get into the company?
Yeah, so actually, it's a good question. So there is something called as so recently there has been a lot of diversity thing that's been going on for the right reasons only, and a lot of companies they have a quota for women in tech and women in tech with gap,
Okay.
right? So try to find out about those initiatives by different companies, and I think it will be a lot better to talk to people who have cracked roles like that, because there are a lot of openings I have seen in Intel, in Microsoft, and Google also, where they have in the bottom, if you are someone who wants who is a woman coming after a gap, then you should approach like this. At least I remember seeing this 1 or 2 years back. I haven't checked recently. So I would really suggest you to understand these initiatives from these companies. It will be very helpful. But to answer your first question, will it impact? Unfortunately, it will, because ultimately they are a business at the end of the day. But the good thing is there are some good initiatives who are helping out here. I am not the best person to answer that though.
Okay. The next question is कि does honors and minors, like some colleges have their major and minors subjects. So is this really help in the job interview and getting into a big companies, like
No.
no.
The only thing that matters is to crack the interview.
Okay.
Whatever your honor, whatever your major, whatever your minor, if you don't crack the interview, you won't get the job because ultimately they are hiring you for that job.
Okay.
If you have done the technical part right, it may help you in the job. Like like I think football has helped me in my job,
Okay.
but I can't put that right. It has helped me because it has taught me how to think under pressure. Because I am playing as a defender, it has taught me how to think under pressure, how to take decisions properly. But I can't explain that to an interviewer, right? Like, so it will help you in your job, but it will not help you in your interview.
I found some people who are in the college, they are not going for any sports activity. So,
Mm-hmm.
how sports activity helps to nourish the your better future? Like people are even not going for the clubs in the college. They are thinking कि I am in the room, I am preparing very well and get a very good job. So, what is your suggestion for that people who are doing these things in their
See,
college?
for me, see, I am a very big advocate of fitness and sports, more than fitness of sports, because of first of all, it really teaches you how to think like a team. Okay, the reason I like football, I personally like football, is it taught me how to synchronize with the team. Even if one player is out of position, you'll probably lose the game, right? It's very important in that regard. Second, it taught me how to think under pressure, because the ball has come to me. There are two attack. I'm a right back. There are two attackers who are coming to me. I should be able to pass properly to my keeper, or to the central player, and the central player should sometimes be able to rotate the ball. So thinking under pressure is something you will learn a lot in sports, and the most important thing is you will learn not to regret.
ये जरूरी है
right?
लाइफ में.
Like I remember a speech from Roger Federer, which was I think one of the best speeches. I think my favorite sports person, one of my most favorite sports people I know. He gave a speech that he won 85% of the matches, but he only won 52% of his points,
Okay.
right? Because match is a big thing, but there are individual points in the game, right? He won only 52%. So he gave a very interesting analogy that he was able to let go of bad shots, and he was even able to let go of good shots,
Okay.
because at the end of the day it's just 1 point.
Agree.
So, and if even if the day was bad, they were able to regret it. So similarly, I was able to let go of bad decisions and regret lesser. I mean, I'm still learning, but I regret lesser.
Yeah.
And most importantly, it's a very good way of channelizing your energy.
Okay.
See, I don't advocate drinking, smoking, and all that. Okay, it's doing nothing good for you. So if you want to get into a hobby, there's nothing better, and hobbies are good
Yeah.
because ultimately आप क्यों कमा रहे हो भाई, कुछ कुछ ही चीज़ के लिए ही कमा रहे हो, right? So
Yeah. Agree. Sports is very important.
sports is
Doing
very important.
sports, communication अच्छा होता है, टीम बिल्डिंग होती है, लीडरशिप स्किल्स आती है.
Yeah.
तो doing sports, going to club, that really helps. सो हमारे क्वेश्चंस कंप्लीट होते हैं, ऑलमोस्ट कंप्लीट होता है पॉडकास्ट. इफ़ यू वांट टू सजेस्ट टू द अपकमिंग इंजीनियर्स, व्हाट यू विल सजेस्ट फॉर द इंजीनियर्स?
Hmm. So I just want to say one thing that at any given point of time, the industry or the market rewards one type of role more than another,
या होता है.
right? Right now, software engineering was or is that role. Like it's a role where you can earn a very good salary just with your bachelor's, which is something you won't be able to earn even if you're a very good doctor with MBBS,
या
right? And
होता
so
है.
take good opportunity of it. If you want to stay in software, it's a good career, no doubt about it. But try to get deeper. See, because especially after AI has come into the picture, a lot of redundant roles will be gone,
एग्री.
right? Uh, so, how will you be better than another is how deep you are into one particular field of yours. So, if anything, it's an unfortunate thing. I'm not saying that the number of roles will reduce, they will definitely reduce. They'll actually come to a normal level because they were very high. They'll come to a normal level, and a lot of these small things will be taken care of by AI agents. There's no doubt about it.
एग्री.
Uh, so you have to buck up, and if you want to stay in software, definitely it's a very good field. It will pay well, uh, especially because it is catering to products that are very strong in habit building, like social media and all. They are not going anywhere, right? But you need to be deep into it. You need to be more competitive than before. Your fundamentals need to be better than before. So, if anything, after AI has come in, it will be more difficult to stay in the field if you're not good with if you're not keeping up. Earlier, even if you didn't keep up, it was easier to stay in the role than now.
एग्री. काफ़ी सारे जो रिडंडेंट जॉब है या रिपीटेटिंग जॉब है वो एआई खुद कर देगा.
Go AI will take it. There's no doubt about it.
या तो अपने आप को अपग्रेड करते रहना पड़ेगा, ये वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग है. एज ए इंजीनियर यू हैव टू ऑलवेज अपग्रेड योर सेल्फ, अदरवाइज यू कैन बी रिप्लेसेबल इन अपकमिंग डेज.
Correct.
सो आज का पॉडकास्ट यही कंप्लीट करते हैं. आई होप कि आप लोगों को अच्छा लगा होगा. सो
And
कमिंग.
I'm sorry for taking a lot of time in some questions. Uh, I'm also new in the industry. I still have a lot to learn. So maybe I was not able to give all the right answers. But yeah, I just gave it everything from my experience and my perspective. And if there's anything, feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn. I also am on TopMed. So thanks.
ओके. बाय.